friends, welcome back to Booked and Rooted. Today I have a Q&A. I posted a Q&A, I don't know, asking people if they had any questions on my Instagram in my stories, and I have a few questions to answer. I had some responses, which I'm very glad because sometimes I love to answer questions if I can, but I don't know what questions people have, so it's nice to have people actually finally come and give me a few questions that I can answer, and I decided to answer them on my channel. So if you're interested in the questions and seeing what my response is, keep watching. So my responses will be based on my experience. They're not based on any research or anything like that, because I haven't really done research on certain things. A lot of times I just kind of go with trial and error when it comes to what I know about plants and the things that I am willing to share. So the first question is, have you ever found mold on your plant roots? No, I've never had mold on my plant roots. I have seen mold on top of my soil, but never on my plant roots. I'm not sure exactly what that could be, but as far as mold on top of the soil, if you ever do run into that problem, what I've done normally is, remove that part of the soil, or sometimes I just repot. It just depends. So in a lot of cases, I would just remove that top part of the soil, and sometimes take like a 1 parts water, 1 parts peroxide solution, and water my plant with that if it's not too wet. I would sometimes do that as well, because that will help with any bacteria or anything that may be in the soil that could be causing that that mold. Also, removing the top layer of soil will help get the soil dried out, so you may want to do that, and then maybe even stick like a chopstick or something in there to kind of aerate your soil. So try aerating your soil too. That's another option. But yeah, never on my roots, but like I said, I have had it on top of my soil. The next question is, what's the best action to take when leaves start turning yellow? For me, when leaves start turning yellow, it can mean a couple things. It can mean that the plant's been watered too much. It can mean that the plant's been watered too less. So you want to try to see which one it is. Maybe even check the roots. Take the plant out of the soil. Check the roots. Make sure that the plant's not root bound or pot bound, where that means that the soil or the roots are not do not have enough room to move around to continue to grow. So sometimes that will cause the plant to die. So, and a lot of times yellowing leaves can mean that the plant is dying, a portion of the plant is dying. So definitely check the roots if you can, and also check to see how much you're watering, if you're not watering enough or you're watering too much. I think with most cases with yellow leaves, that usually means you're overwatering. The next question is best succulent tips. I can't never keep mine alive. Girl, you are not the only one. So I'm sorry, I have no succulent tips for you. I stay away from succulents. At one point, I was really on a succulent kick. I was buying those. I was just like, those were like the plants that I started buying initially when I started getting really, really into plants. And they just, I don't know, they'll do well and then they just die. Now, there are some plants that are considered succulents, like aloe. I can't give you any advice on aloe because I've been back and forth with aloe. Can't keep aloe alive. I think sansevierias are also considered like a succulent as well. I do know one thing about succulents. Well, 2 things about succulents I do know for sure. They do not like to be watered a lot. That's 1. And they like sun. That's 2. So I would just say maybe try those 2 things. Maybe troubleshoot. Try to see what, out of those 2 things, what are you not doing or what are you doing wrong. So that's the only advice I really have for succulents, because I just don't do succulents. Succulents do not work for me. I can't keep them alive either. But those are just kind of the things I know off the top of my head, that they don't like a lot of water and they like sun. So, okay, the next question is, what's your favorite medium to propagate plants in? So, soil, sphagnum moss, water. My favorite medium to propagate is water. I just feel like water propagates better for me. It works better for me. When I tried to use soil, it did not work. I tried once, I think, to use sphagnum moss. It didn't work at all. The roots just rotted. And also another reason why I like water is because you can actually see what's going on. You can see that your plant is starting to root. When it comes to soil, you can't see if it's rooting or not. You have to actually pull it out some kind of way to be able to see if you have roots. So I like to be able to actually just pick up my little glass vessel and look and see that there's roots growing, so then I know that, okay, I can take this out and put it in soil, or just continue to leave it in water or whatever I want to do. So definitely water when it comes to propagating. I also feel like water is better. I just feel like water works better. I really, really do. At least with my experience, water has always worked for me when it comes to propagation. Okay, so this is a really good one. And this is one that I really, 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 I love this question because it's something that I'm actually kind of working on myself and kind of still learning myself. So I feel like I'm really excited to give my advice on this question. So how long after getting new plants in 4-inch nursery pots should I wait to repot? In my opinion, anything 4 inches or less, repot whenever you're ready. I say repot right away. And the reason why I feel like you can repot those right away is because they're fairly new plants. A lot of times they are pretty compacted in that nursery pot, so they need that room to go ahead and start to grow out more. I feel like 4-inch, you can repot those the day you bring them home. To me, anything over 4-inch, 6-inch, anything like in the big gallon size, I feel like you should wait because there's a lot more going on in there. I also feel like those plants are possibly more happy because from my experience and from what I've noticed is that the plants that are in the bigger pots, the medium that they use, the soil mixture is kind of really coarse. The soil mixture is very coarse. There's a lot of like orchid bark or some type of mulch or whatever. I don't know what they have in it, but it just seems like to me it's in well-draining soil. So when you're watering those plants and they're in that nursery pot still, they're not susceptible to root rot the way that they would be if you put them in your own soil mix, which, it depends on your soil mix too, I guess. There's a lot of different factors, but anything 4-inch and under, I would say repot whenever you want. I've never had an issue with plants that are small when I repotted them. It's just the bigger plants to me seem to have they're more prone to shock, in my opinion. I hope that makes sense. And do you keep a plant journal? Not really. I used to at one point, but I just got so many plants, it got really overwhelming, and I was trying to do too much. I had a journal and I took pictures of the plant, and I was planning on taking pictures like periodically to see the progress, and I just got really overwhelmed with that, and I ended up just getting rid of that. So I don't keep a journal, but what I have started to do is I've started to use my notes on my phone to write notes about specific plants, like when I fertilize, when I've started fertilizing certain plants, or just various different things. Like, for example, plants like my cactuses or my sansevierias that don't need water that often, I keep track of that in my notes on my phone, so that way I can know when I'm watering them and to make sure I'm not watering them, because I know that, like, for my sansevierias, I technically water them probably once a month, but I need to make sure that I'm tracking when I watered the last time, so I know that it's actually been a month. So I've recently started doing that, and that's very helpful, and it's easy for me to do. And I've actually just been using I'll open up a new note, and then just out of laziness, I'm just like, yeah, I watered this plant on this day and this, that, and the other. I do the little voice thing, and I just say whatever I gotta say, and bam, it's all in there. Maybe a little transcribed a little wrong, but it's still in there. And you know, especially when I just think of something I want to hurry up and jot down, I just do that, and I have found that to be very helpful. And then my last one. Hi, sweetie. I'm rising webcam model. Please follow my main page. Hey, Krista. Heart. I will post there my uncensored content for you. Heart. No, thank you, Jessica. No, thank you. Don't you just hate that? Like, oh my God, on Instagram, when you do your stories and you do the little question and you want people to ask you a question, there's always some bot coming in and saying this type of shit. Or they'll say, you know, hey, your content is the bomb. Well, thank you, but your comment is irrelevant to what I'm saying, so goodbye. Okay, so those are my questions. There were 6 questions, 1 invalid question. And I hope that those answers and questions have helped you in some kind of way with your planty lifestyle. But if you ever have any questions, or if you have any questions you want to ask, leave those down below. I will be happy to do another Q&A video at some point. But this was fun. I'm glad to be able to come in and kind of give you guys some feedback of what my experience is like. Like I have said many times before, I'm no expert, I'm no pro, I'm no botanist, I'm none of that. I am just a black girl that loves plants, and I go through my plant life with trial and error, and it works for me. And I am happy to share what works for me to you. So, again, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.